Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so China's really doubling down here, and like I said in the last video, I think that's an absolutely horrible mistake on their part, but once again, they're retaliating. And it's not just equivalent retaliation, no, it seems the Chinese are really trying to ratchet this thing up, they are escalating. And I really think it's an eye-opening moment. I think the Chinese government is showing the world who they are, and it also seems to be serving a double purpose here, because on top of it, the left is also showing us exactly who they are. And what they're showing us is that they're ideologically broken, they're Trump deranged, and apparently willing to side with a hostile communist regime just to score a cheap attempted dunk on President Trump. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, if this doesn't wake people up on both issues, on the issue of the Chinese communists and the insane leftist radicals, then I don't know what will. But let me show you guys what's going on here. We got the Chinese escalating the trade war, and the left seemingly glorifying their action and attacking Donald Trump. Except newsflash for them, they're not exactly making the point that they think they are. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we just got a report that dropped here. This is allegedly China's latest move. We're now learning that they intend to block exports of critical minerals and components, the stuff that American manufacturers are relying on to build. China has suspended exports of a wide range of critical minerals and magnets, threatening to choke off supplies of components central to automakers, aerospace manufacturers, semiconductor companies, and military contractors across the world. Shipments of these magnets, essential for assembling everything from cars and drones to robots and missiles, have been halted at many Chinese ports while the Chinese government drafts a new regulatory system. Once in place, the new system could permanently prevent supplies from reaching certain companies, including American military contractors. So that's China's latest move, a direct strategic attack meant to kneecap the American economy, and I guess an attempt to assert Chinese dominance. And now the question is, well, how is the American left responding? Well, they seem to be cheering it on. Go all over social media, you'll notice it.
Trump just caved to China.
China is going to make Donald Trump apologize for starting this trade war after they realize they hold all the cards. They are going to stay strong and make Donald Trump admit that he was wrong in starting this. And why not? They clearly hold far more cards than Donald Trump thought.
Damn, China clapped back at Trump and the USA. These tariff wars are getting real.
You're being lied to. You're being told America's winning this trade war. That Trump's 54% tariff on China is going to bring back jobs. Crush Beijing and put America first? What if I told you China's not panicking, they're planning? They literally hold all the cards.
It's funny how MAGA and the Trump regime think that Trump played the art of the deal and totally owned China on tariffs, but in reality, China could not give a shit about Donald Trump. China is telling the world they're not even concerned about American goods, they don't need the United States, and Trump's plan is a joke. That's exactly what it is, and I commend China for calling it like it is. Donald Trump is a joke.
People in China are now mocking Donald Trump over his trade war with the country and making fun of him online. You can see photos like this, Donald Trump even in a princess outfit. These images are going viral on Chinese social media right now. And the Chinese government themselves are also posting things making fun of Donald Trump, like this meme on the Chinese embassy in the US social media account on Twitter, or another post said, "Give the bully an inch, he will take a mile," in reference to Donald Trump and how they plan to stand firm against him in this trade war. It's just crazy because Donald Trump portrays himself as the big, strong leader that all the countries are afraid of, but right now he's getting made fun of on Chinese social media quite frequently. Let me just tell you, this wasn't a problem under President Biden because we were actually respected around the world, and this never happened.
We got all these Democrat talking heads and influencers claiming that China is one-upping Trump, they're playing 4D chess, they're outmaneuvering the Trump administration. They're cheering on the CCP in this retaliation and pretending as if it's some kind of political victory over the Orange Man. It's insane. I mean, absolutely insane. You leftoids are literally siding with the Chinese Communist Party, a genocidal authoritarian regime that not only hacks our data, spies on our businesses, manipulates their currency, pushes their censorship and influence on our entertainment industry, blocks American companies and social media companies from entering their markets. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The left is essentially siding with them in their weaponizing of supply chains against the American economy. Basically, we got Donald Trump standing against a hostile nation that's responsible for so much harm, and the American left is siding with them. Trump derangement syndrome, like I'm telling you guys, is a mental illness. But what's crazy is, as they're celebrating this big strategic victory from the Chinese, They don't seem to understand that, first of all, it's most likely going to be insignificant in the end. China's economy will not prevail in the end. But what they really don't seem to understand is that this move isn't making Donald Trump look weak or incompetent. It's literally proving that he's been right this entire time. It confirms that China is not our partner. They don't view America as a trading partner. They view America as a threat, as an adversary. And it's becoming more evident each and every day that we should have decoupled a decade ago. They're essentially proving the point that Trump has been making. The idea that America depends on China for critical minerals, it's a national security risk, and it has to end. And again, the left is making it seem as if the Trump tariffs are about bringing sweatshops back to America, but it's never been about that. It's always been about steel manufacturing, aerospace manufacturing, semiconductors, drones and military equipment. Basically everything they're trying to handicap us on. And just think about it. They're literally proving the point. Just in the article I read earlier, China's suspending exports to choke off supplies for those key industries that are of national security importance. That's the whole frickin' point. So no, leftoids. China's not outmaneuvering Donald Trump and playing 4D chess. If anything, China just played directly into Donald Trump's hand. They absolutely showed why it's necessary. And we got so many of these leftoids, again, attempting to take advantage of the political moment, pushing all this fear and freaking out over short-term pain. Donald Trump's gonna hurt the economy, right? But obviously they're missing the bigger picture. And I think people are starting to come to terms with it. Maybe the short-term pain is necessary. Maybe it's time to rip the Band-Aid off now to rebuild stronger and more independently, rather than kicking the can down the road. Because if you think this is painful, imagine the national security nightmare, imagine the pain that could be inflicted on the nation in the future if this issue is not addressed. Donald Trump put China in a position where they are showing their hand. They are not acting in good faith. They don't want peace. They don't want fair trade. They want control. And now as they're being challenged, they're lashing out. These aren't the actions of a good partner. These are the actions of a geopolitical adversary. And what's really driving me nuts, the craziest part, is the lack of patriotism on this issue coming from the left. They spent the last 8 years accusing us of pushing Russian propaganda, right? With no real basis, but now look at them. Essentially arguing on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. It's insane. A country that abuses the American market, infiltrates American industry and government, hacks our data and attempts to use it against us, steals our IP, threatens American military interests, and near worst of all, dumps untold amount of fentanyl on our streets, causing over 100,000 deaths a year. That's basically the side that these leftoids making this argument are on. Honestly, it's despicable. And the political play that they're attempting to make here, it's just so misguided and sad. They, for some reason, have convinced themselves that this pathetic little threat from China is going to have us rethink our support for Donald Trump, as if China's winning and outmaneuvering Trump. Absolutely not. No. If anything, it reinforces my support and my belief this economic fight is worthy of sticking it through. Talk about being on the wrong side of history. China is showing its true colors, and so is the American modern left. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.